We're not gonna cut any of this out, are we? We're just gonna do.
Welcome back to Talkville, folks. I'm Michael Rosenbaum.
Tom Welling here. Ryan?
I'm Ryan. I'm also here.
Ryan's here. We're all here. Ryan, thanks for the invite to Dodgeball. I'll go next time.
I will too. I didn't end up going, but it's a lot of fun.
It's an all-gay league too, right?
Yeah. Well, it's at the WeHo Center. I don't know. It was like a new center that got built in the beginning of 2020. It's like this big old gym thing. It's
and
great.
we can play even if we're not gay?
Of course.
Good. I like that. I'm in.
Of course. It's all inclusive, man.
I like that.
Yeah.
See, the world should be all inclusive, Ryan.
Sure. I agree.
It should be. Obviously, we're doing a Smallville rewatch podcast, and we couldn't do it without you. In fact, the fans and the patrons have kept this podcast going. If you want more seasons, I urge you to join patreon.com/talkville and become a member and support the show. Also, you can support the podcast by going to @Talkville Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and at Talkville Pod on the Twitter. Leave reviews, write reviews, and spread the word, man. Spread the word. Please call in with questions of the episodes. Call in way ahead of time. It's much better, Bryce. It helps save him some work, and we'll get a better chance of being on the air. 323-JET-CUTE is that number. And TalkvillePodcast.com, you can go get awesome merch. We're making shirts that say, damn, who's that? And other fun stuff. Some art pieces. May Charters is going to make us another art piece. We're going to hopefully do 1 or 2 a year. And the first one sold out quickly, and people love it. And only beautiful things to say. It was a great piece of art. And they're all signed by us. So there's X amount of prints, and that's it. We sign them, and there's nothing to make copies of. That's it. We're not doing that. All right, we're winding down to the end of the season. Also, Tom will be at a lot of cons with me. Tidewater, I think that one won't air now. That will air later, but that will already be over, Thomas. But Philly, Niagara Falls, I'm going to try to get and go to. I think Rhode Island, we're going a lot of cons, so look it up. All right, without further ado, let's get into season 2, episode 21, Accelerate. Here we go. Title Accelerate, May 6, 2003. Director James Marshall, who won't come on the podcast because he's too nervous. Teleplay by Brian Peterson and Kelly Souders, who would eventually run the show. Story by Todd Slavkin and Darren Swimmer. I love those guys. I love all 4 of those guys. Guest star Neil Flynn as Pete Dinsmore, Jodelle Mika Fairland as Emily Dinsmore, and Camille Mitchell as Sheriff Nancy Adams. The synopsis was Lana sees dead people and uses Clark to help to get to the bottom of a devious Luthor Corp cloning operation going on. Clark cracks the case by using CPR to save another friend from drowning. All the while, Lionel plays chess with his son and regains control of the Kawachi Caves. A lot going on in this episode. I will say, look, I like this one a lot more than the last one.
Like horror. You like horror.
I like horror. The little girl was really creepy. She reminded me of back in the Twilight Zone days. There was a doll, and it was like, I'm talking Tina, and I'm going to kill you. And it reminded me of her.
As far as horror homages go, how did this feel for you?
It was fun. It was a fun little horror episode. And it did push the story along with the cloning thing. So that inevitably happens. We don't need to get into that.
Do you think Lionel has Lionel clones?
Wouldn't that be cool if there were a Lionel clone? No, I don't think he would do that. It'd be too dangerous.
Because Lex is like, look at you, you're spending so much time here in Smallville. What if he's in 2 places at once? Because he's a clone.
You know what? These 2 episodes were really great for Lionel being creepy and like, what's the word? When you have
manipulative.
Yeah. I can't think of it. Like when you have ulterior motives. You have ulterior motives, and that's what this is about. And like seeing how conniving and dark and manipulative and all that.
But and focused. What you'll find, he gives Lex some fatherly advice. You lose sight of perspective and things that really matter, cut to Lex loses conservativeship.
Whatever.
Well, he loses control over the caves because he's lost track of it.
A lot on his plate. This episode starts out with the gang watching an old horror film house on Haunted Hill. Clark, Pete, Chloe, Lana, and Evangeline Lilly. She's there? I didn't see her.
She's credited, as a moviegoer. I didn't see her either, but she's...
Do you know how bummed I am, Ryan, that I didn't get to meet her on set? I would have married her for sure. She would have divorced me, but I would have married her.
Why is she credited?
I don't know.
Because she's a thing.
She didn't
now.
speak.
She was a feature.
How does that work?
I don't know. As the horror intensifies, Lana gets closer to Clark, grabbing his hand. Chloe, of course, notices it and is jealous, and that bothered me. Later that night, Lana is cleaning up the theater. Mysterious old home video footage starts playing on the big screen, and then she is met face-to-face with Emily Dinsmore, a young girl who she used to know that died years ago. She tries to escape, but Emily reappears in front of her. Pretty creepy. Before anything else can happen, Clark shows up, and Emily's gone. I thought it was definitely cool, creepy, a good opening. It was fun. It felt like kind of like you're watching a Scream movie. You know, kind of felt like that. The next day, shell-shocked from the experience, Lana is looking at old photos of her and Emily. As she does, the ghost girl reappears. But thankfully, Clark shows up again to calm her down. So Clark just keeps calming her down. Mm-hmm. Lana is suspicious of Emily being a ghost, decides to take Clark to the river where Emily had fallen and drowned. While there, the two talk about whether or not Emily could actually be a ghost or why she would be reaching out now. And then they go to meet with Emily's father, Pete Dinsmore, to see if he has seen Emily's ghost. He's upset by Lana bringing up his late daughter, and drives off back to the Luther Manor. Lex is finalizing the details of the wedding alone. As Helen seems uninvolved in the process, Lionel shows up to drop off the wedding gift in person. He isn't invited to the wedding since he isn't invited. Lex reminds his father that he tried paying off Helen to break up with him. It's always fun to watch, Lex and Lionel go at it. I think, that became like a big, I think the lies between, our friendship, Clark and Lex's, and then the Lionel, and then you and your father, parents. It was a nice dynamic. It was such a juxtaposition of love and deceit, and it's just fun. It gives a dynamic to the show.
I love the way John plays his participation in the wedding, because he comes in, he starts tasting the cake, gives a reaction to the cake. He's doing more than Lex is doing in the room when it comes to his wedding.
Well, Lex doesn't want to be there.
His participation is... It's so well executed by John.
It is.
Because he could have just he could have easily just come in, said his lines, turned around and walked out. But he makes it his own. I love it.
Back at Smallville High, Chloe finds Clark and the Torch trying to get to the bottom of what could be going on with Lana. She tries to say that because of all the trauma Lana has experienced over the last year, that it's no surprise she's seeing ghosts. Clark gets defensive and tells Chloe, she's not crazy! And Lana,
she sees dead people, but she's not crazy.
By the way, people always hammer M. Night Shyamalan. How do you say it?
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan. I love those movies.
Here's the thing. He's made such amazing, impactful movies. Signs. Sixth Sense. Unbreakable was okay. And I liked The Village. After that, I don't know what happened to him. I think it's somebody posing as him. But they put him down. I'm like, how many directors make one great movie, let alone 4 or 5? Yeah. Great director.
Well, you're a musician. I think a lot of times what happens when bands come out is their first, maybe second album, they're so exciting because they've been working on that for 15 years.
Yeah, their first
Think about
thing.
that.
Yeah.
And now they're getting all their stuff out. And then they're like, okay, the third album. And you're like, well,
think about it. Besides the Beatles and the Stones and a couple other bands,
all played for 20 years before they ever made it.
Right, but think about this. Pearl Jam, to me, 10 was their best album.
Yeah.
It just was. It just had all the hits. It was great. People go say, no, but those are real fans. But that was their big album. Did they ever hit that? They continued making great songs, but you get 1 or 2 songs per album that were fantastic.
Right, but that album, you could hand someone that album.
Right. So
and
M.
be
Night
like, listen to this whole thing.
did the same thing. Back at the Dinsmore, by the way, I'm having a Nicorette lozenge, so if you hear my voice sound weird, but I don't want to smoke ever again. Back at the Dinsmores, we see Pete approaching his ghost daughter, and having a conversation with her. The ghost girl's confused why Lana said she died. Pete tries to corral her, but she fights back, wanting to be free and impaling her father with a sign.
Do you know what David Letterman said to Kiefer Sutherland about how he quit smoking?
What?
He said he stopped putting cigarettes in his mouth.
Oh my God.
That's how he
You know
quit.
what? My grandfather Irv was driving with his son Dave, my uncle Dave. My uncle Dave was probably 8 or something. And Irv's in the car and he's just smoking. And Dave looks at him and goes, Dad, why do you smoke? And he looks at him and he goes, Mike, he asked me this and I didn't have an answer. I didn't know why I was doing it. I never smoked again after that moment. Like, why am I doing this?
Well, because you're not comfortable in yourself and it gives you an activity to distract you from the moment.
I think that's why I did. This is the second episode this season where a parent has lied about their not dead but really dead child, Nocturne.
Yeah.
In an effort to disprove the zombie theory, Clark takes sidekick Pete to the graveyard to try and A, locate Emily's grave, and B, use X-ray to see her dead body. As he does this successfully, Pete spots the ghost Emily off in the distance. She disappears. Clark uses bullet time to be able to see her moving and follow her. I will tell you right now, that could be one of the best visuals of the year. That visual where everything slows down and the drops with with your reflection was beautiful, in that she's so fast, but you're so fast and you're slowing down time and seeing her and she's like, what is happening? That was directorially beautiful, visually beautiful.
No.
Great job by you. Well played out. Great scene. That scene alone made the episode to me. I rewound it, or whatever the kids do.
I can't remember if we were running at full speed or slow speed, because as they ramp the camera, sometimes you have to change that. What I thought was funny is how the raindrops, very few of them were still exploding against Clark's jacket. Not many, but a couple. And I thought that was a nice touch.
It was great, man. That was definitely Ryan's favorite scene.
It's one of the 3.
Yeah, there you go. That night in the town,
You're on a roll.
Lana is locking up and she gets scared from Ghost Girl Emily. Before she can get freaked out anymore, Clark shows up once again. Emily disappears. Too much. 3 times it's too much. Visibly shaken, Lana gets reassured that she's not crazy as Clark shares suspicions of her super speed abilities. That means the Ghost Girl. Over at the Smallville Medical Center, Lana is checking in on Pete Densmore. How is he alive? He was impaled. How is he alive?
It missed the vital organs.
Why did they just do it in a shoulder blade or something?
Because this was sort of visually striking.
I mean, there's
me.
people that fall from buildings onto fence posts and survive. It's the human body is a miraculous thing.
Brought to you by Dr. Science Man himself, Dr. Welling. Over at the medical center, Smallville, Lionel is checking in on Pete Dinsmore, former Luther Group employee. Lex shows up to meet with Helen and is suspicious of why his father would be so caring for one of his employees. I don't remember seeing Helen in this. She's in this?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay, so he just was there. Lex throws in some digs questioning Lionel's loyalties, and Lionel responds by telling him that he's always tried to be a good father and focus on the things that truly matter the most. Lex pops into Pete's hospital room and sees Emily sitting in the corner. Lex begins to talk with Emily and learns
Creepy.
that she thinks Lionel's a bad man who took away the bunnies. Just as Lex asks to talk to her mommy, Emily disappears. While this is going on, Clark takes Lana to the Dinsmores, and the two snoop around the house for clues of what could be going on. They pop into Emily's room, which is seemingly untouched since she died nearly a decade earlier. Clark uses X-ray vision to identify a trap door in one of the walls. He and Lana walk through it and into a laboratory below where they find more clones of 10-year-old Emily. That was pretty creepy. Did you guys like that? I kind of liked it because I know where the story goes, and there's a whole bunch of what was that? The third Lex Luthor at the very end of this. Well, I'm not going to ruin it for Ryan.
Yeah, don't do that.
I thought that Lana should have been a little. I know she's freaked out by seeing this kid, but when she finds an underground lab full of more clones, I think she should have literally lost her shit. You know what I mean? Clark, it's different. Lana's never seen anything close to this in her whole life.
What is this, Clark?
Right? Like, sorry,
can
I think
see that.
they missed that beat a little bit.
Maybe. Talkville is brought to you by Indeed. You need to supercharge your hiring. You need a super hiring partner. You need Indeed. Look, Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. I wish these guys were around when I was hiring people for my movie or hiring people for my production company or whatever. They just make it so easy. It's call it a one-stop shop, if you will. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites searching for candidates with the right skills, Indeed's powerful hiring platform can help you do it all.
We streamline hiring with powerful tools that find you matched candidates.
With Instant Match, over 80% of employers get quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment they sponsor a job, according to Indeed Data US.
Rosie, did you know that candidates you invite to apply are 3 times more likely to apply to your job than candidates who only see it in search, according to US Indeed data?
Yeah, Indeed's hiring platform matches you with quality candidates instantly. Even better, Thomas, Indeed's the only job site where you only pay for applications that meet your must-have requirements. Indeed is an unbelievably powerful hiring platform, delivering 4 times more hires than all other job sites combined, according to Talent Nest 2019, and more than 3 million businesses worldwide use Indeed to hire great talent fast.
Start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/talk. Offer good for a limited time.
Start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/talk. Offer good for a limited time.
Claim your $75 credit now at Indeed.com/talk.
Tom, you know, in the minute I've been talking to you, 16 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide.
What?
Yeah. Indeed.com/talk. Back at the Kents, Clark shares the news with his parents, who call the sheriff to report Pete Dinsmore for cloning his daughter. The sheriff shows up and tells the Kents that she can't do anything because the place was cleaned out.
Instantly.
Clark goes back to see what happened and runs into another Emily clone that is very confused why she doesn't have any memories. That's my Dan Aykroyd. Do you notice in Dan Aykroyd in every effing movie he does, he's like, yeah, we're on a mission from God. Everything's like this. No matter if he's driving Miss Daisy or he's in the Blues Brothers or he's Callahan Auto Parts for Tommy Boy. Every feckin' thing he's doing, he talks like this and it drives me up a wall. Clark goes back to see what happened, runs into Emily clone. They're confused why she doesn't have any memories. Emily's sad that she is not normal, and Clark tells her that being different is okay. She disagrees and speeds away. As she does, Lex appears to investigate the ghost girl he saw earlier. Lex talks to Clark about the experiments that Dinsmore was performing at Luthor Corp, using the meteor rocks to accelerate growth.
Oh, wait a minute. I just remembered something. I wrote it down here,
Please.
but
I wrote stuff down too. I don't know where it is.
the scene going back a little bit where Clark and Pete see the little girl in the cemetery and it was raining. I slightly remember Sam talking about himself being cold and all the water, you know, like the rain and just being like, and I remember something about the little girl not complaining at all. and like Pete kind of clocking that, or Sam clocking that, and me clocking that. And we're like, I guess we need to shut up. He's like, the kid's not complaining.
Hey,
you
Tom,
know, I do remember that.
Why aren't you in your other room with the poster? That's all nice.
Because we have someone staying with us for a couple months, and he's taken over that room.
Who's staying with you for months?
A friend of ours. He's helping us out with the property, helping us kind of get some stuff done.
Tell him you use that room for the podcast.
I will. I will in season 3.
Okay, fine. The next day at the camp, Lana's hiding away from trying to decompress. She is scared once again by Emily, who wants Lana to go with her to the river. That can't end well. Lex visits Pete Dinsmore, who is now conscious in the Smallville Medical Center. Lex offers to help, but Pete says it's a lost cause because Emily accelerated growth has caused severe chromosomal damage and a lack of moral compass. Clark arrives back home and finds Lana missing, but a drawing from Emily helps him find out where they may be.
Yeah.
Lana is talking to Emily clone about how the real Emily died. Now, let me tell you this. Kristin single-handedly saved this scene. Her performance, her emotional display is just excellent. I believed it. She feels responsible. She's never forgotten it. And I thought it was beautiful. I thought the scene at the bridge was really, really good when all this stuff. The clone is upset Lana couldn't say the real Emily, decides to push her in the rushing water, and it was cool. And her underwater, that whole scene was great. Clark supersedes to save the day, diving into the water and pulling Lana back to land. He gives her CPR and saves Lana. Second time Clark has saved someone from drowning. Lex, wink, wink, also got to be Lana knocked out 5 times this season.
I remember this location and standing next to the water and just being like blown away by how beautiful the location was, knowing that we were 10 minutes away from downtown Vancouver.
It was a gorgeous location. That's all I could think when I was watching it too.
It was
absolutely gorgeous, and the water was absolutely freezing. The trick with these scenes, which I learned early on, was you wear not a wetsuit. I mean, you can if you can't see it, but what they do is they cut off wetsuits. Like, so you have wetsuit shorts and like a wetsuit like vest under your clothes so your core stays warm. It's still frigid, but you don't get hypothermia. And because when you're giving someone CPR, they can't be shaking like that.
I hated wearing those suits. I remember those wetsuits, and then you have to they had to put the suit, make the suit bigger to put it over me, and it felt like it would probably look ridiculous, but it's really for the effect in the water, so no one really notices it.
Yeah, I mean, like when you watch, I forget that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he gets trapped in the water, the one with the bear, Revenant, whatever it's called.
Still don't know what it means.
He falls in the river, and all I could do was I was trying to look for a wetsuit because I'm like, there's no way this dude fell in the water without a wetsuit on in this scene. No way.
I remember one of my friends, he was wearing sweatpants, and we went to this pool party, and he just pulled down his sweatpants, and he had his swimsuit on, and he just dove in the water. I go, he had his sweatpants, and then he had his wet pants. I don't know why I said that. Back at Luther Manor, Lex confronts his father about the cloning going on with Pete Dinsmore. Lionel takes this opportunity to inform Lex that he has lost custody of the caves after the several deaths that were under his watch.
Lex is losing focus. He's distracted by the wedding planning.
Before leaving, he tells Lex that he warned him to keep a sharp eye on the ball in the same location where he dodged a pool ball being thrown at him from Lucas.
Good
catch, Bryce.
Good catch, Bryce.
Did you guys... Michael, did you keep any of the paintings? Like, there's a painting behind Lionel, like a blue sort of wispy sort of painting in the hallway.
No, I kept the one of the weird doll. I have that somewhere.
That was weird.
The weird doll that was there for years. I took it.
Yeah, that was creepy. I wonder if you were drinking bourbon in this one, because it looks like you were. And you're not really drinking it in the scene. You're probably bourbon. There's the old thing about cigarettes in a scene. You want to take a puff at the beginning and never touch it again so you can match it. Because if you keep smoking during a scene, matching that cigarette is like impossible.
You know what I'm pissed at? I'm pissed that while I was on the show, I didn't get any sponsorship or like any companies like Mach 3 razors that wanted to shave my
You
head.
would now. You would now with Instagram and everything. You would. But then it was also corporate.
Because I was like, I could do a Ferrari commercial. I could do a freaking like new Luther whiskey.
Oh well, or suits.
Stay thirsty, my friends. Back at the Kent farm, Lana shows up to thank Clark for always believing in her and saving her. She then gets vulnerable about not living up to the idea of who he thinks she is. Clark reassures her that she won't disappoint him and that Lana tells him she will start believing in him more. To me, this is the only thing I will say, and I know they couldn't for the series, but if it's any time, now's the time for him to say, hey, I'm going to tell you something. And I feel like he could trust her.
Then she would die.
Yep. For context, Clark has ditched just about every date with her, made out with Chloe, ditched her at the bar in red, and quit the Talon. The episode ends with Lionel talking to Pete Dinsmore about shutting down the cloning research on his daughter, Emily. Pete gets emotional about losing his daughter again, and Lionel tells him to chill the F out, that she is Luther Corp property. Lionel then enters Emily's room to gift her a bunny and reassures her to not worry about her father. I loved hearing the voice at the end, using that effect of like, what do you want to name the bunny? Bunny Buns? I think they could have came up with a better name. Bunny Buns kind of took me out for a second.
Also, the play of him like picking up the teacup, knowing like and just like playing along.
Yeah,
like, it's
creepy.
It's creepy.
I wanted a different name. What name would you give it instead of Bunny Buns? How about Bugs?
Or just Buns. Or Bugs. Floppy.
What would you name him?
Happy.
Peter Rabbit.
Lana.
Clone.
Hops.
Gotta be the youngest guest star in the series so far. Ryan would probably be 2. Anything notable in that process of the working with a young actress like that?
Well, I remember
No, you don't.
this helped me later when I ended up directing because I had a younger actress or actor, as they say now. There's something when you work with kids where you have to be really present and you have to like be a very good scene partner. But I always remember when I'm working with kids how prepared they are.
Yeah, and again,
like they're always very prepared.
Well, you know what I'll say is with kids, like memorizing and doing, like they just have this knack for responding to like.
There's no block to it.
They're
They
not
don't block
thinking of
it.
fame and all these things. They're just thinking of, oh, this is fun. It's how we should always be in scenes, like having fun and working stuff out. And I'm on a set, and we lose that. We lose it.
Yeah,
it's lost.
Eric, that's what Eric Johnson sort of said. I'm just happy that somebody's playing catch with me.
Yeah.
Remember when he was on? He was talking about that.
The river scene looked intense. Any memories of that?
Just what I said about the beautiful location and staying warm and yeah.
Was the Dinsmore house set recycled from any other episode that you remember?
I don't recall.
No, it was pretty creepy. I bet they used that basement. They used that same basement that they used for the Kent cellar and other stuff like that. Maybe not. The stairs were different. Interesting things of note.
Interesting things of note.
The location that was scouted for the river scene where Emily Dinsmore pushes Lana off the bridge and into the river became problematic on the first day of shooting. The river had become too dangerous to shoot the water scene, so they simply tied Crook to a safety line and had Jodelle, Mika Furland, Emily, push her over the edge, but without her actually going into the water. They moved the second set to a soundstage where they filmed Crook's remaining scenes where Tom Welling dives into the river to save her in a water tank. Wow. Lex mentions to Lionel the 7 deadly sins of man. The 7 deadly sins are also villains of another DC comic superhero, Shazam. Can you name the 7 deadly sins, by the way?
I remember that movie 7 with Brad Pitt was really good. Gluttony and all that.
Lust.
Pride. Ego was one of them?
Well, that's Pride, isn't it?
Oh, it's Pride.
Envy.
What was the morbid one? It's like morbid, obese.
Yeah, that was Gluttony.
That was Gluttony.
Sloth.
Pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth.
Wrath and sloth.
Nice. All right. Emily Dinsmore is the first known character aside from Clark with super speed. Emily shares some Clark time with Clark when they both travel super speed. All right. Now it's time for the hotline talk. All right. This is patron privilege, please. We're very excited. So this is a patron. This is CGO. Let's see what CGO has to say. Thanks for being a patron and supporting the podcast. We need you and love you.
Hey guys, Caesar Giovanni here, aka CGO. And my question is for Michael. As a horror fan, what did you think of the horror elements throughout the episode of Accelerate, especially at the beginning of the episode during the movie theater scene? Looking forward to seeing you guys in Philly. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I'll see you in Philly. We're going to be in Philly. I talked to the guys earlier. I liked it. I thought it was a little homage, a little throwback, a little whatever. It was fun. It was creepy. The girl was good. So I liked it. Efron. Here's Efron. Thanks, CGO. Thanks for being a patron. Patreon.com/talkville. And there's Ephraim.
Hey guys, this is Ephraim from Toronto, Canada. In that graveyard scene, Pete's line off the top feels like it was added in to explain some bad weather on the day. But then there's that super speed through the raindrops bit a few minutes later that makes me think the rain was scripted. Which is it, real rain or fake rain? Thanks, guys.
That was fake rain for sure.
I would have in order, because they were going to do the raindrops in the CGI, I would bet money that they had rain towers on the day because they needed rain so they could slow down the rain later.
100%.
So there were rain towers.
It was rain. It was too hard. It was controlled.
And the kind of rain you get from rain towers, they're bigger droplets than normally what you get from regular rain. So I guess the answer is rain towers.
Janet.
Hi, this is Janet calling from Calgary. In the episode,
Canadians.
it's filmed over a bridge, which is in Capilano Canyon, and the railing is missing. So I'm just wondering if the railing was actually taken out for filming or if it was digitally taken out after when Lana ends up going in the river.
Great question,
Okay,
Janet.
thanks.
I bet it was digitally taken out because that was probably superimposed on the bridge of that fall. Also, what was really funny is when you super speed and jump into the water, it looks so hokey where you see him super speed and then jump in. It was just like a little clunky. It was just, I noticed that, but it was still cool. Ashley?
Hey, this is Ashley calling from Arkansas. This episode really just kind of made me think about all the trauma that Lana herself has gone through and how in real life she would be pretty fucked up. Have y'all ever really thought about that? All like the trauma these characters actually go through, and if it was in real life, how none of them would be this happy. Thank you guys. Bye.
Yeah, Lana goes through a lot. Lex goes through a lot. The Kents go through a lot. Clark goes through, everybody has their things.
I think on numerous occasions, though, I think you and Kristin both had this way of playing your characters and then being like, and then dropping it. It's like you understanding that the trauma was not yours, it was the characters.
Yeah.
And, as a performer, like you can play it, but you don't have to carry it into your own personal life.
Yeah,
because then you just really wears you down.
It weared me down. I sort of did. I did. It wore me out. Noah. Good question, Ashley. Thank you for that. Thanks for bringing up all the trauma.
Hi, this is Noah Brewster from Atlanta, Georgia. Did you guys previously see this episode, or is this your first time? And if it's your first time, what was your reaction to the creepy ending with Lionel and the clone? Just thought that was kind of scary. Thanks, guys.
I've never seen this episode before. That was the first time, Tom. It was creepy.
First time for me, very creepy, and made me wonder if Lionel has already cloned himself. Because one of the things they say is that the girl has she doesn't understand right and wrong, no conscience. And I see Lionel often making decisions with no conscience involved.
That's very...
So Lionel is a clone? Is that
That's what Tom's saying.
Hey guys, this is Audra from Louisiana. Just as I was watching it, I kept thinking that it reminded me of a Halloween episode, and it just really seemed out of place. I know that back then they would do Halloween episodes sometimes, and all I could think when I was watching it was, I really hope Michael calls Al and asks him. Anyway, love the podcast. Love to know what you think. Thanks, bye.
You know what I'm tempted to
If
do.
it didn't air over Halloween, it wasn't supposed to be a Halloween episode. I know we've done Halloween episodes. We did do them.
Should we call Al?
It's because they aired that week.
Al, it's just a Halloween episode.
Let's leave Al
Let's
alone.
leave him alone. Here's Jenny. I liked it, but it did feel like a Halloween episode for sure. I didn't even think about that, but yes, I just didn't know anything.
Hey, this is Jenny from LA. In the spirit of the Accelerate episode, do y'all have any personal ghost encounters or stories? Thanks.
Yeah, I have a ghost encounter. When I was a kid, I woke up to the sounds of broken dishes in the kitchen. And I went down the stairs in the kitchen, and my mom went down, and there were 3 plates in order on the floor, unbroken. I heard them all break, and they were in perfect order, and they weren't broken. And it freaked me out. And one time I went home and I went up the stairs and I heard and I panicked to the point where I was so numb as a kid that I couldn't walk or talk. It felt like I was just and I went down the stairs and I said, Mom, there's something in the room. And she went up the stairs with me, and I thought it was E.T., and my brother was snoring, this evil snore, and it wasn't a ghost at all. Oh, wait. We have Tamara. It's a text. Tamara says in Accelerate, what was the process when Kristin got pushed off the bridge in the water and placed on the rock? It looked like Kristin did her own stunts. Well, we talked about that, so we answered that question.
I wasn't there.
Good question. International folks, I love them. Rosenbaum rating system. What are you going to give this one? Let's start out with Thomas Welling the third.
Rosenbaum rating.
Heater.
Really? Why?
I just... It just didn't stand out all that much to me. And there's some great performances, some great things about it, but as far as a representation of what I think the show can be, it was written well and everything added up. I just got creeped out a little bit is all.
Ooh, I like that. Ryan.
But,
I feel the same. Heater.
Half a rose.
Half a rose.
I'm going to give half a rose.
All right.
I thought there were some enjoyable parts. All right. So we're here. We're at the death and save count. You want to hear what happened with the death and save count?
Death and save count.
0 dead, 1 saved. Clark saves Lana in the river. 21 episodes, season 2, 26 dead, 34 saved. Series 56 dead, 69 saved. Ryan's favorite scene.
Wait, series? Like
Series.
thus far over 2 seasons?
69 people saved, 56 dead. How did 60 Minutes not do a story on Smallville?
That's a lot.
All right. What is your favorite scenes?
All right. 3 favorite scenes for me. Slow motion rain. Lana on the bridge. Lana and Clark's emotional scene at the end.
Ooh, these are tough. Tom, you start.
I'm going to go super speed through the slow rain. Chubby rain.
I'm going to join him.
Yeah, rain.
Yes.
Did you say, sorry, did Tom say chubby rain?
Chubby rain.
Bowfinger reference?
All right. Any final thoughts? That's it for the episode. You could also take it online. And next week, we talk about the penultimate episode, 22. Calling. Season 2 is called Calling. Let's take the discussion online, folks. Let's hear your thoughts on the episode. Go to @Talkville Podcast, @Talkville Pod. Leave messages. Talkville Podcast for all the great merch. Patreon, become a Patreon member and support the podcast. We need your help. Patreon.com/Talkville if you want us to continue. Sometimes people wait till it's too late and then the show gets canceled and then it's like, all right, well, it's too late now. So if you want to help the show, go to Patreon.com.
Sure.
All the information is in the description, voicemail, the number, all that stuff. We love you. We'll be at a lot of cons. Ryan, thank you.
Could we talk about Neil Flynn real quick? We didn't really talk about Neil Flynn, the guest dad.
He did a great job.
Yeah, because most people know him from Scrubs as a very comedic guy.
Oh my God, that's him.
Yeah, he's the janitor on Scrubs.
Oh my goodness.
And that was just kicking off at the time.
He did a really great job in this episode.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
So it was weird to see him. He took a dramatic turn. It was weird to see him.
Yeah. If I ever bump into him, I'm going to say, hey, you were in an episode of Smallville. You were really good.
Yeah.
Ah.
I saw him at the IO West once. He's very tall.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
And so was Bull, who played the other
a lot of great
father
guest
of
stars.
the other
Linda
character.
Carter. You know, she's upsetting me. She said she'd do the podcast, and it's been like 4 months now, and her people are like, oh, well, she's just got a busy schedule. Come on, man. Linda, it's an hour podcast. You're that busy. I mean, come on. You were great on the show. You were sweet. Just do me a flavor.
Do me a flavor.
All right. We love you. Remember, folks, always hold on to your junk and to Smallville.
Avril Lavigne, take it
You're
away.
not going to play guitar for that part?
You want to play the Avril Lavigne song that was heavily featured in this
hold on
episode?
to Smallville.
And of course, we got to shout out our patrons, our lovable patrons. We couldn't do this without you. We love shouting you out. Patreon.com/Talkville. Tom, do it.
Nikki G, Leanne P, Raj C, Santiago M, thank you for the bust. Leah S, Little Lisa, Thomas the Leaf Blower, who we met this weekend.
Love it.
Sophie M, Betsy D, Abby P, Raj H, who we just heard from.
Ray H. Ray.
Oh, Ray, not Raj. That would be a J. Ray H, Karen Apple M, Danielle B, 99 more.
Leilani N. I think I met Leilani. Brett G, always hold on to Smallville. Esteban G, DJ Kento, Garrett W, Kimberly L, Tom N, Rodolfo V, Jason W, Osama A, Lana rhymes with banana W, Nancy D, hi Nancy, Brian G, Sarah W, Amanda R, Teddy 127, Michael P, Ryan R, Jordan M, Hillary B,
Randy B, what? Craig G, Christy R, Karen P, Derek G, Jor-El, Heather and Greg, Nico P, I made Talkville say butts. Brian H, Eric K, Clark's mom, Kristin B, Craig C, Nanine W, Stephanie K, Darth, Achilles, Finky, Tamara H, Mickey, Taylor's version.
Stephen F. Damn. Who's that? Every time we say it, all three of us in order, me, Tom, then Ryan. I'll start first. Whoa, damn. Who's that?
Damn, who's that?
Oh, Ryan's not on mic. Too bad. Jeanette E, Deadvid, General Zod, The Daily Planet goes to 11, Big D, Doug R, Carlos C, Tommy Z, Boston 68, Ken K, Isabel, Corey L, Ivy and Sam, Mr. Home Arcade, Amanda K, Jesse C, Lumberjack,
Claire M, D Brown, Joshua W, Alice Be Kind, Rewind, Karenira M, Eldon Supremo, Leslie V, Tatiana S, Robert G, Julie Jules, Mick Burtz, Ginger Moose,
Christoph S, Katie B, Michelle M, Drew, Brittany S, Marisol P. Hi, Marisol. She was there.
Hi,
She was
Marisol.
awesome.
Yep.
Cutest daughter. Veronica Q, Sebastian F, Cheryl H, Matthew and Lincoln. Hi, guys. David G, Carol B, The Chief, Marion Louise L, CGO, Peas Detz Ya Yeblin, Sunseeker, Kelly Bell, and Nikki L. We love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. It means a lot.
Thank you.